Hello there, everyone. It's Brave here again. I hope everyone in the world, wherever you are, is having a great day or night or evening. God bless everyone and wishing you love and light and protection. So, I'm just here again to talk about a couple of subjects and topics that me and my friends have been discussing, like the way friendships and relationships, how men and women interact, um, and this can be any human interaction. It doesn't have to be just men and women. Um, Even regarding family members. So basically, I was wanting to talk about how when you're really, really kind and caring and empathic, it's like you always want to look out for everyone. You always want to put their feelings first because it means something to you to make sure everyone is safe, happy, at ease. And you want people to feel that they're supported by you. You don't want like, for instance, I know what it feels like to not have good family members who, I had a terrible, violent, dysfunctional, crazy family, crazy childhood, and I always just wished for a normal life, normal relatives. And so when I got away from them and then ended up marrying a malignant, sadistic narcissist who was just like my parents, they had the same personality disorder. It was very upsetting because I thought I'd escaped this horrible set of people only to end up with another one. And a lot of my friends who are empaths as well, they said, well, that's the thing. Empaths will be drawn to you, drawn to your kindness, drawn to your loyalty, drawn to the way you want to do everything to let them know they're safe, they're, protected, they're anything they want, you got them, you'll be there, you're reliable, you're consistent, they know they can trust you. And so it seems like when you have empathy without boundaries, this is like a kind of self destruction. Now, you're not doing it on purpose, but giving and giving and giving to your detriment, meaning, leaving yourself empty, leaving yourself short. That is like you're doing yourself a disservice. It's like self destruction in a way, because when everyone's used you up, you're left with nothing, and you've just they abandon you when you need help. Severe, you could be in a severe life-threatening situation, and a narcissist will be like, I don't care, it's none of my business. But these are the same people you saved from homelessness, saved from dangerous situations. But the minute you tell them something they don't like, even if it was true, they don't care about you. Suddenly you mean nothing, less than nothing to them, which is awful. And I'm not laughing, it's just when I think about it, it makes me make this kind of haughty laughing noise like, huh, who do you think you are? But yeah, so I mean, even when I was with my ex-husband, and I gave him so many I gave him so many chances to change. I made it clear what he was doing or saying was mean or cruel, and I won't tolerate it. And I kept still loving him, giving him unconditional love. But unconditional love does not mean I have to give unconditional tolerance, you know. And even though I was tolerating a lot of his bad behavior because I loved him, but you have to find a way to train your boundaries to be stronger than your soft heart, and train your mind to be stronger than your feelings. Otherwise you'll be drained, you know, and then you'll be used up and emotionally damaged, psychologically stressed, not trusting anyone, not being, not feeling that you're good enough, even though of course you're good enough. You're more than good enough. You're amazing, and they know it. And but because they're not well, because they have a personality disorder, that it's almost like your pain is their pleasure. When you're happy, it drives them crazy. They hate to see you happy. They hate to see you got lots of friends or people who like you. Your job likes you. Everyone thinks you're great. like if you right when I was younger, I remember my mum would always be told by others, oh, your daughter is beautiful, as in nature. Like I was good looking, but they weren't talking about my looks in that moment. They were saying, your daughter is so kind, she's so loving, she's so protective, she's so beautiful, as in a beautiful soul. And my mum would never say, yes, thank you, yes, she is. She would just not speak. She wouldn't respond because she was jealous that they were telling her I was good, I was beautiful, I was a good soul. Even though I'm her kid, shouldn't she be proud and like, wow, yeah, I raised a good kid? But she didn't raise me, I just raised myself because she wasn't there for me. She was just a violent, sadistic monster. So she knew she hadn't raised me. So she knew that goodness and kindness that I had didn't come from her. And she did not instill that in me. I was just naturally, that those were God-given gifts. I was, you know, given that extra empathy to be an empath, that strength, my psychic gifts, all those things. She didn't give me any of those things, you know. So and another thing with relationships is when people talk about intimacy, they think that, oh, if you're not being intimate, sexually, that you must have a rubbish relationship. And that's not true, because I remember one of my exes, he was very good in the bedroom, but he was cold as ice, cold blooded and nasty outside. You could never get him to behave lovingly outside of the bedroom. In the bedroom, he would make a lot of effort because that was the way he would, I guess, trap the women, hoping that if I pay attention to what they like sexually, it will hook them in this way. And then I won't have to make an effort outside of this moment or these situations. And then it's true, he was very good in that way. He did pay attention to you in that way, do everything you wanted. But then on the outside of those moments, he was very nasty, very vindictive, saying all sorts of horrible things, like for no reason. And he was a narc as well. I can't believe how many narcs are attracted to me. It's so irritating because I'm not wanting to have any narcs around me. But then by the time I realize you're a narc, I already want to help you or be a friend to you or support you in some way. And then it's hard for me to want to break away from you because I care about you now. And it's like, oh, damn it. Like, why did I have to, like with the ex, fall in love, or with friends, want to care about you, want to help you? Like, oh, it's so annoying. But yeah, intimacy is not purely physical. It's the, excuse me. Sorry. Let me repeat that. Intimacy is not purely physical. It is the act of, excuse me. My nose is all itchy. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Intimacy is not purely physical. It's the act of connecting with someone so beautifully, so deeply that you feel like you can see each other's soul. Like your souls speak the same language. That's how I feel. So if I meet someone and we want to be together, we meet face to face, we feel that, this feels good being around each other, we're having deep talks, we're talking every day, we love each other's company. I want to feel close to you emotionally. I want to feel that when I look into your eyes, I see the universe. I feel like I'm, floating among the stars. To me, if I had to choose between really good sex or someone who just made my soul smile, made my soul glow, I would pick the soul glowing person, because to me, I can teach them what I want in the bedroom. You know what I mean? And even if they weren't able to do all that, I don't care about that. That's just a physical act. Yes, it's like a biological urge, but so what? Like, it's not, if I could go the rest of my life without that, if I could get the emotional, beautiful, deep connection, that would fulfill me so much more. Because you can see when people have, intimate like relations, they don't even, if the person doesn't like you after that moment has passed, like if a person goes out every night having a one night stand, as soon as that physical act is over, if the man says to the woman, all right, get out, I got what I wanted, she'll feel like crap. But instead of taking herself away and self-improving herself, she'll go out and self-trash again and go with another man who will use her again. That is the problem, that people keep repeating the same stupid behavior that they don't even enjoy. You know, no one wants to be used. You know, who wants to be used? Like, but people will pretend and delude themselves and be in denial and be like, I'm in control of it. I chose to go out and let this person use me. So they're not in control, I am, because they couldn't have used me unless I let them. No, that's your self-defense mechanism trying to convince you that you're in control, because you feel ashamed and embarrassed when people literally throw you away like garbage after, because you hope that they loved you for the person you really were. You hope that they gave a damn about your feelings, your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams. You know, you wanted that. And when you see that you can be so easily replaced or thrown away or never appreciated, it bothers you. But then if you're not a strong person, you will internalize that shame and guilt and bad feeling and decide that you hate yourself instead of hating the behavior of the person who wronged you, who should never have treated you that way. I mean, if someone is honest and says, listen, I only want you for sex, I don't want anything else, I will never treat you well, do you accept? If you accept, then what are you complaining about? Because you accepted that. But and however, people will accept that crappy deal and still complain, because deep down they don't want to feel used, and they will feel like in the moment that, yeah, I can handle that, that's fine. But a tiny part of them is like, I can change his mind. He will fall in love with me. He will see how awesome I am, how kind I am, and he will not want to throw me away. That's what I think. I think women mainly feel that way because we're more connected to our emotions. I think women dealing with men really do believe they can change a man. Not me. I got like, that was long ago when I was married. I thought my love could heal and change a narcissist, and I learned the hard way that it cannot. But yeah, I remember there was a guy when I was in the military, and he was like the barman in the military building. So he wasn't anything to do with the military. His dad was, but he was just like, would help out in the bar. And he was always giving me the like come to bed eyes and looking me up and down, and when I'm in my uniform and whatever, and just because I was like the only woman in that particular building at the time, like doing military drumming and stuff. I was the only woman, and I was young at the time, and then all these much older men, who I was drawn to older men because I had daddy issues from being abandoned, and I really wish I could have controlled it, because a lot of people I picked were just idiots. I picked them because they were older, thinking they'd have their shit together, have, you know, a house, a car, and, you know, I can just move in and have a normal life, everything's ready. And not that I wasn't willing to work, I was already working and had acquired a lot of the material stuff, I guess you'd call it, that the world tells you should have. I had a job, I had money in the bank, I had savings, I had everything I needed. But I thought that, well, I can join what I have with what he has if he's older, and we'll be a team. So it was never about using anyone for their money, not at all. I've never ever done that. And I don't let people use me. And in the past, when I have been kind and tried to help people, I always made sure I got revenge on them if they took advantage of me, or I would get my money back. You know, I'd be like, do you need your legs? Because if you need your legs, you're going to have to give me my money back. You want your kneecaps? Okay, yeah, you better give me that money. But it's like, the guy was younger, more closer to my age. So I was talking to him, and he was like giving me a lot of drinks free, like sneakily. And I thought, is he trying to get me drunk? The age old classic. And I wasn't getting too drunk. I kept kind of saying like, oh, I don't want to drink anymore. But he kept giving me the free drinks, and I just would give them to like my squad, the other squaddies or whatever, the other people in the mess bar. And then he was like, oh, let me walk you to the train station, because it was like there was a big train station, I had to go. I didn't live near the barracks, so I had to go like quite 45-minute train ride. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to, Victoria train station. I can walk with you." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not scared to walk alone." And he's like, "No, no, I'm gonna walk with you." I was like, "All right." And then it's like, I don't know if he was drunk or if he just had no boundaries, but then he just sort of, when we were walking, and it was late at night, so there wasn't a lot of people around. Usually that area has a lot of tourists because it's near Buckingham Palace and stuff. And but it was late at night, maybe nearly midnight or between 11 p.m. and midnight. And then I remember like we're walking past some closed shops, like a pharmacy or something, and then he dragged me into the doorway of the pharmacy and just started kissing me. And it was so aggressive, it really turned me off. And I was like, "Oh, whoa, calm down." And I could barely push him off my face because he just like slammed his mouth into my face, which I really didn't like, because it's like, in my opinion, you should have respect enough to ask me. I know it sounds old fashioned, but if you look into my eyes and say, "I'd love to kiss you, can I kiss you?" and I give you permission, I would prefer that than some drunk, slovenly idiot just slamming his skull into my skull. Like, ugh. And so I was really turned off, like, ow, like, what are you doing? Like, don't you have any self control? So then he's like, "Oh, sorry, it's just you're so beautiful." And I was like, "Yeah, you're drunk." Because I'm not ugly, but I'm not so crazy beautiful that you can't control yourself. Like I'm a beautiful soul, and this meat puppet that I've been given, to walk around in, it's all right. I don't care if it's ugly or pretty or whatever, right? This is not me. This body that we're incarnated in this one, I was in a different body in the last past lives. This wasn't even the same body. So yeah, so it was just weird, as I was a bit like, "Calm down, man, like, what is wrong with you?" So then he calmed down, and I was like, "Have some decorum, have some self-control." So then I'm like, what is going on? Why did you do that?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been watching you for a while, and you're really beautiful and talented, you're military drama, and like, it's really interesting." And I was like, "Yeah, but you never asked me about, like, if you wanted to date me or anything." And he goes, "Oh no, I don't want to date you. I just want to like F you." And I was like, "Ugh." So I was annoyed, like, "What do you mean? So all this time you've been talking to me, you didn't care about my hopes and dreams, you didn't care that I was building a career, you didn't care, really. You just wanted to use a new person." And I said, "Well, surely you've got exes or F buddies you can go and find." I said, we could walk down to Leicester Square right now, which is a tourist bit where all the nightclubs are. In the daytime, it's full of tourists, but at night, it's all like Londoners going to nightclubs and drinking and whatever. And it's open, all night. And food places, everything, like, all night. And then I said, "Well, I could take you to Leicester Square right now and find you a skank to, sleep with. Like, why, like, slam yourself into me?" And he was like, "Oh, I really liked you." And I said, "No, you don't. You keep lying. One minute you really like me because of who I am, and then in the next breath you just want to F me, just want to use me like I'm a sex doll or something, like I don't have any feelings." So that really annoyed me. So then I said, "I need to walk to the train station. I'm going to miss my train." And then he lunged at me again and started trying to kiss me again. And I was ready to punch him this time. So I kind of shoved him off me and said, "Don't touch me again. Like, this is getting like assault kind of thing, because you keep grabbing me and I don't want you to touch me. See, this is like unwanted attention now. And I have my army boots on. I'll stomp your foot. I'll stomp your toes off if you don't stop touching me." But it was so weird how why was this guy acting this way? I don't know if it was the alcohol. I don't know if he was a narc. I didn't know him that well, so at the time I didn't, I really didn't know what the reason was, but it was, and then I kept pressing him and just saying, "What is wrong with you? What is the reason?" Because I was really confused. Like, why is he lunging at me like this? Like, does he have no boundaries? Like, and then I think he said, I remember vaguely, like, he said something like, "Oh no, I don't want to be with you. I just I want to sleep with you. It's a one-time thing, right? A one-time thing." And as soon as he said a one-time thing, I just walked off like, you're dumb. So you would use me one time. So it wouldn't even be like a regular thing where, we're getting to know each other, but we allow each other to touch each other. It wasn't even like a regular long-term F buddy thing, which I wasn't interested in that either. But it's so funny how he didn't even want anything long term, not even a friendship, not even nothing. It was like, so what was all that weeks of talking to me for? Where you got nothing, you just apparently liking me or thinking about me sexually from afar. What is all that about? Like, and then you only want me for one night, but you want me to use me. It's like a weird, in my opinion, it's this weird conquest thing or a notch on their belt, because I'm sure he can go and find someone else, but why are you focused on me, but you don't really want me? It's strange. And so as soon as he said a one night thing, I said, no, I don't like one night stands. I don't need a high body count, thank you. I'm not like you lot out here sleeping with strangers every night, catching STDs, getting pregnant, or allowing people to trap you with pregnancies. I'm not interested in that, you know, because I got married really young, like at 18, 19, and then it's like I'd only been with one person before that, and that was a mistake. I hated that I let that person touch me because he was trash. But he kind of tricked me with the, oh, I love you. Oh, yeah, I want to get engaged, and being a young, naive teenager, I was like, oh, is he a Christian? Oh, he wants to have a marriage before sex, but he was tricking me, the little shit. But don't worry, I got my revenge on him. That's for damn sure. He won't remember, he won't forget me, but for a different reason. Like, people will be like, oh, you don't forget your first. Oh, he won't forget me, but it won't be for the crappy sex. It will that he provided the crappy sex because I didn't know what I was doing, you know and he went good. Now I know what good is. He was crap. But yeah, it's just funny how just people expect you not to get revenge on them. They keep wronging you, and it's like, whether it's verbally, cussing you out, or having to teach you a lesson in other ways, like, you had it coming. Like, stop abusing people and then you won't have any problems, will you? My god, people are so just weird. Like, they will do things wrong to you and then get angry with you for your reaction to their crazy wrong behavior to you, and then they want you to apologize to them even though you did nothing wrong. And then even if you play along and go, okay, baby, I'm sorry, when you don't really mean it, you just were trying to like play their stupid game to see their reaction. And then you see how I mean, if they don't know that you're playing their game or you're playing the game against them, then they're not paying attention. Because anytime someone told me they loved me and I knew it was a lie, I just let them say it, and then I say it back, and I'm like, do they realize I'm just mimicking them because I know they're playing a game with me or whatever? Like, I don't know, people are very strange. And then it's like, in the beginning I was trying to be close to them genuinely, but once I saw they were playing games, then I just started to reflect the game back to them to show them, do you see how stupid these games are, you know but people are such cowards. People are not honest, and then when they are honest, it's aggressive and horrible. Like, look at that guy. He eventually came out and said, yeah, it's just a one-time thing, I just want to use you. Now, in that case, honesty did not help him because he didn't get what he wanted. But then if he had faked being a gentleman and said, you're so beautiful, you're so wonderful, I love everything about you, I love the person you are, I wish I could be your guy, then he probably would have got what he wanted. But then it would have been horrible because once I find out he's a liar, then I have to teach him a lesson, then I have to get revenge on him, then it's like a whole thing. And then he's leaving a trail of people who want to teach him a lesson, negatively. So this is why people lie, I suppose. It makes sense, even though it's wrong. But I wouldn't lie. I would be honest. If I come across someone, they like me, I don't like them, I gotta be honest. I'm not going to lead you on, because that's not fair. I'm not going to be angry at anyone who, like, if I like someone and they don't like me, it doesn't take away my worth. I'm not your cup of tea, no problem. Spit the tea out, but you don't have to be rude about it. Like I remember there was a guy when I was maybe 16, 17, and we worked together. So one of my like first early retail jobs in like a sports shop, like a Foot Locker or something. And he was so good looking, and it wasn't like girls were chasing him, but he was like tall and good looking, and we got on really well as friends. But I had no idea he was gay because we were just teenagers, and he didn't speak in a way that would indicate that, because some people, their voice kind of gives it away, but he deliberately mimicked tough guys so that no one would really know, because he hadn't told his family yet, and he only some of his friends knew, his close friends, but he didn't want them to tell anyone. So I'm thinking, wow, we get on so well. It must be fate, it must be fate. He used to hug me and kiss me on the forehead, and, take me to cinema all the time, and want to do stuff that no other teenage boy wanted to do. Go out to dinner, like do adult stuff, and because I was so mature, I was like, this is amazing. Like, and then one day I just was like, oh, I really love you, let's be like in a relationship. And he was like, oh sweetheart, I got to tell you something. And I was like, whoa, what is it? And he was like, I'm gay. And I thought he was saying that just to fob me off and like put me off. And I was like, oh, come on, you don't have to lie. If you don't want to be with me, just say it, don't lie. And he was like, no, 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 I'm serious, I'm gay. And I said, well, how do you know? And he said, I've already slept with a girl and I didn't like it. And I knew, the same way you're straight. He's like, how do you know you're straight? And I said, I just know I like guys. I'm a girl and I like guys. I've never looked at a girl and felt anything. He said, well, that same feeling you feel for guys being a girl is what I feel for guys, not girls. And I already tried to convince myself I was wrong and went with girls and it didn't feel right. And I said, oh, so you've already had sex with a guy? And he was like, yes. And I said, oh, and that felt normal and fine? And he was like, yes. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay. And then after that, we just became closer, because then there wasn't that, I didn't need to feel bad about it because we were already super close. And maybe him being gay might have made it super close because he knew he wasn't trying to get anything out of me, so he didn't have to trick me. He wanted genuine friendship. And there was no, game playing, so we became even closer after that and we're really good friends. But it's so strange how people are just very, very calculating, and not everyone, it's just like, you have to trust that, I don't know, you have to try not to lose hope, you have to trust that, some of the things you've gone through in relationships and stuff, it can shape you into a better, more amazing version of yourself, a stronger person, that you're going to become. And, if you think about butterflies, they are proof that you can go through a lot of darkness and still become something beautiful, and transformed, So it's like, yeah, it is hard dealing with difficult people, who just want to use you and abuse you and use you as a human teddy bear, or use you for sex, or use you for money, or whatever it is, use you for your house, your car. But you just have to stay strong. You have to try, put up boundaries, be willing to enforce those boundaries, like for instance, like if some guy you really like, and then when you're about to have sex, he refuses to use a condom, and you say, well, I need to use this for my protection, for your protection. If they make you feel bad for wanting to keep safe and even helping them keep safe, you have to turn them down. But I know that's hard for some people, because most people feel they're rejecting the person they like and that person's going to go on to someone else. So the thought of the man rejecting them and going with a woman who will allow them not to protect themselves, that can force a woman to open her boundary and just, or knock down her own boundary and let someone use them. But then after, when they're pregnant or got diseases, then they'll regret it. But you have to be strong. Like, if that person did care about you, they would listen to you. They would wear the protection for your sake, for their sake. they should be doing it. Like, it's dumb how some men are so stupid that they blame the woman for getting pregnant or trapping them, but you did nothing to stop that happening. You could have put a condom on. It's different if a woman puts holes in a condom or takes your condom with the stuff inside it after you've finished and uses a turkey baster and puts it up, in her bit, in her privates. That is different. If you did everything you could, you tied up the condom, you took it away with you, threw it in a bin that she's not going to go through the bin, hopefully, unless she's sick and she goes through the garbage for the condom. But, you could have poured it down the toilet, the contents of the condom, so that no one can use it with a turkey baster. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, and I don't want to, I'll try and keep it PG, but it's just weird how, it's sad that we feel like we have to chase after these stupid, unworthy, inadequate people who don't even care about us. And then it's like, well, why are we chasing these people who don't care about us? We should care about ourselves enough to protect ourselves and find someone who would care enough to protect you too. But people are very weakened by loneliness or wanting to fit in or wanting to feel accepted. And that's why it's so important to strengthen your own self-esteem, self-control, self-respect, because then it won't matter what other people think. It won't matter if someone thinks, oh, you're no fun because you won't let me use you up and, use you like a dumpster. Like, throw you away like rubbish in a dumpster. Like, you have to be really, really, strong in yourself. And that way, other people's opinions or, behavior won't break your boundary. So anyway, that's all I have for this video. Thank you for listening, and I hope everyone around the world has a great day, evening or night, wherever you are. I'm wishing you love, peace and protection. And I hope that, when you go out into the world, I hope you know that you're amazing and special and worthy, and you should know your worth and never let anyone take away that specialness that is you. You are a special individual, unique, and you don't need to bow down to anyone. You don't need to chase anyone. You just need to be your good, amazing self, and then the good people will come to you. And if anyone can't respect your boundaries, tell them to F off. Okay, goodbye everyone. Bye for now.